Stephen Curry doesn't jump out of the gym like Michael Jordan or overwhelm you with size like LeBron James. So what makes him so special? Perhaps no player has ever intimidated defenses more than Stephen Curry. I mean, how do you game plan against the guy who is a threat to score as soon as he crosses half court with his remarkable package of long-range shooting? His flashy ball handling and jaw-dropping finishing around the rim make him a terror to guard, especially those 40-foot shots. Before going straight to the content, here is the brand new information on the channel is that 3 lucky winners will get a chance to win PS5. Only you have to just comment your views on this trade in the comments section below. Let's start today's topic. The Golden State Warriors burst onto the scene in 2015, winning 67 games during the regular season en route to their first NBA championship. For 40 years, it was an unlikely coming-out party for Golden State, particularly because they wanted to play 51 games during the 2014 season. So the Warriors were in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1975. And going against the consensus of the greatest player in the world. LeBron James was determined to gift-wrap his coming-home party by winning the first championship for Cleveland in over 50 years. So the table was set, the pressure was mounted, and there was a lot at stake. With the series teetering at 2 games apiece, Stephen Curry put the NBA world on notice by pouring in 37 points on a blistering 54% from 3 to help Golden State's momentum. After his Game 5 heroics, when speculation began to overstep his newly acquired status as the best player in the game, this was arguably a legacy game for Curry. When LeBron was asked about courageous play in an interview after Game 5, he, perhaps feeling the need to defend his throne, said simply, "I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world." And the Warriors, despite facing an injury-ravaged Cleveland team, ended up closing out the series on the road in Game 6, officially establishing the NBA as the next powerhouse, led by one of the game's top 3 players, Stephen Curry. Number 2. After winning the only unanimous MVP ever awarded, Stephen Curry was hyper-focused on winning back-to-back championships to validate his back-to-back and unanimous MVP status. Stephen Curry doesn't just often express ruthless emotions on or off the basketball court, but now he felt that he wasn't getting the respect he deserved, the respect the back-to-back MVP is worthy of. Look, the Warriors ended up running through the 2016 Western Conference playoffs, losing just 2 games in the first 10 games of the tournament. And it was time that Stephen Curry expressed his killer instinct by ending Portland's hopes in Game 4 with another 3-pointer by Draymond Green, scoring 40 off the bench on my ad and shouting into the Portland fans, "I'm back." Stephen Curry and the Warriors didn't face any adversity throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, nor should they have considered just how much inferior the Portland Trail Blazers were. The round before everything changed, where and how much more fuel your Houston Rockets had. The Warriors were riding high after the 2015 championship and hit autopilot throughout the first 2 rounds of the 2016 playoffs. Now they find themselves in a 3-1 hole with the Oklahoma City Thunder in the 3rd round. It was a foregone conclusion for everyone. In Games 5, 6, and 7, Stephen Curry averaged better than 32 points per game on a scorching 47% from 3-point range. The Warriors pulled off one of the most historic comebacks in sports history. It was destined for Kevin Durant to knock on the Warriors' door just 3 weeks later. Number 3. Stephen Curry had to hear it about his poor play in 3 close games and the finals the year before. They said he choked. Kyrie Irving hit a shot in his grill to seal the deal, and people were saying he's overrated. So Steven smelled blood. The series wasn't much of a contest thanks to Steven and Kyrie Irving's spectacle of brilliant shoemaking and highlight plays. Steph proved that he was the best point guard in the NBA and that his counterparts were just a few ticks below him. The revenge season is complete for the best shooter to ever lay some. Number 4. The Cavaliers should have warned Kendrick Perkins after the Warriors narrowly survived LeBron's epic 51-point performance in Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals. About talking trash to Stephen Curry in the finals. The run teams were literally out of the gym, and with Stephen Curry trying to disrespectfully turn around three-pointers in front of Cleveland's bench just as time expired in the period, Kendrick Perkins in some sparring language, Stephen jumped out of his seat and took it a little personally. Stephen went on a three-point shooting barrage, hitting 5 out of 5 three-pointers in awe-inspiring fashion. Tony Parker never uttered a word to Stephen Curry again. In this series, Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors completed the sweep over LeBron, led by the Chef's 37 points, stirring the pot and providing the closeout game for Stephen. He was now a 3-time world champion and a 2-time league MVP, joining some rare company among the all-time greats of the NBA. He was a proven leader and a champ. His legacy would only continue to mount as he continued his quest for all-time NBA supremacy. Number 5. In a strange turn of events after the sideline incident between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant earlier in the season, it was another year and another shattered title for Stephen Curry the Warrior. As we all know, the Warriors looked like a troublesome basketball team in the 2018-19 season. It got to the point where the Warriors lost an astounding 6 games of 20 or more points at home during that season. Nonetheless, the Warriors were expected to cruise into the NBA Finals on sheer talent and championship DNA. The team's vulnerability was shown throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. After losing 2 games on their home court to the ACC and the Los Angeles Clippers in the following round, the Warriors faced a familiar foe in Houston, and after KD went down with an injury in Game 5, people began to speculate if Stephen Curry could lift his squad over the finish line. The Rockets saw their opportunity and felt that this would finally be the year they would break through and take down the mighty Warriors. Stephen Curry hadn't scored in the first half, he only had a mere 10 points. Stephen Curry erupted for 23 points in the first period, including a nasty 3-point dagger in the face of James Harden. Curry showed that when his legacy was put to the test, he would respond by reminding the world of his unanimous MVP stature. He, of course, said after the game if that game didn't personify Curry, "I don't know what to do." It was the first time in 102 playoff games that Stephen failed to score in the first half. But as he's shown time and time again, when in doubt, Stephen Curry's play in the most meaningful moments elevates. Number 6. If you thought that would be the last time Stephen would be doubted, at least in the same playoffs, you were wrong because, in the following series, another star backcourt stood in the way of the Warriors' 5th consecutive finals appearance. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and the 3rd-seeded Portland Trail Blazers. KD's status was still uncertain and he would remain out indefinitely, so everyone wondered if Stephen Curry could lift the Warriors 4 more times to reach the NBA Finals. Stephen Curry may have played the single greatest statistical series, a 4-game sweep, in the history of the NBA. In 72 years of the NBA, has a player been more dominant in a sweep? So let's revisit what exactly Stephen Curry did during that series and 4 games. Stephen scored 146 total points, which is the most total points scored in a 4-game stretch of a series by any player in NBA history. He did that on 4,743 of 94 shooting splits. Seeing the greatest year ever grace the final stage for the 5th time isn't something only LeBron and the Bill Russell Celtics have done. Number 7. Before he became one of the faces of the league and shattered all the shooting records, he was just a Zion Williamson, a 6'2" or 3-inch, 170-pound guard, and despite being selected 6th overall in the 2009 draft, he was just a Zion Williamson. The Warriors, for the first couple of years of Stephen Curry's career, were a bad team. The soon-to-be dynasty was struggling to win 30 games in a regular season, but by going from 23 games in 2012 to 47 games in 2013, the Stephen Curry emerging Warriors were on their way to making the playoffs for the first time since 2007. You could point to that year as the year Stephen Curry officially arrived, as Steph wasn't selected for the NBA All-Star Game in 2013. Number 8. The Warriors went from dynasty to calm during the pandemic-stricken 2019-2020 season. This was mainly thanks to injuries that kept Stephen Curry hampered all year. With Klay Thompson recovering from ACL surgery and KD's departure for Brooklyn, Golden State fell precipitously in the Western Conference standings. They want to make it worse. 15 games in 2021. In what will be his first complete season without KD, the former MVP felt the need to remind the world of his former unanimous MVP status during that season. Stephen Curry did it again to the Warriors. Steph finished the season averaging a league-best 33 points per game. Stephen Curry broke his previous record for threes made in a single season that year and was by far the best player on the league's winningest regular season team in league history. Curry went on to do that, officially making him the biggest draw in the NBA. The very opposite star point guard came into a game against the Warriors that season and wanted to challenge Stephen Curry and prove that they were better no matter who stood across. The legend of Stephen Curry continues to expand. He has forever revolutionized not just the NBA, but basketball entirely. His lengthy resume may be fabulous enough, but it's the ridiculous range of shooting the logo shots and the look-away three-pointers that will inspire generations of talent to come. I mean, it has already happened. Even if we were to call it quits today, Stephen Curry is a multiple-time MVP winner, a three-time champion, and the greatest shooter ever, and he won the MVP, leading a 73-win basketball team. Pair that with a dazzling game and the legacies are left for generations of shooters. Stephen Curry is on a Mount Rushmore pace to claim his place as truly one of the greatest players to ever play. So what do you think of this trade? Do let us know in the comments section below and get a chance to win a brand new PS5. If you enjoyed watching the video, do like and share, and yes, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you so much.